You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about 5 reasons why Eric Forrester must survive this near-death ordeal. I mean, there's a lot lacking in this storyline. So if he does die, not only will many of his loved ones be left without closure, but Eric's death would also open doors to disasters no one wants to see coming on Bold and the Beautiful. But before we get into this, please click subscribe if you haven't. Now let's talk about it. All right, the first reason Eric must survive is that almost none of Eric's children or grandchildren are getting to see him, to visit him on his deathbed, or even know that he's dying. It is insane that Bold gave that lame safari excuse about why Rick Forrester, Felicia Forrester, and Kristen Forrester haven't been informed and haven't come home. And that's because, sloppy writing, but also Ridge is in control of the whole dynamic. If it hadn't been for Thorsten Forrester and Bridget showing up for Eric's big last party, I don't think Ridge would have even bothered either of them with a phone call either. I think Brooke is absolutely horrible not to have called her son Rick to fill him in. I haven't heard any mention of that. She said, that's something she needs to tell them, I think, in person or something like that. And then this safari thing. You can't reach people on safari, really? And how long is this safari? Come on. And Ridge, frankly, is a real prat not to call his sisters to let them know that their dad is dying. They would all race there if they knew. Plus, Ridge hasn't been inviting Zende to join the family for visits at the hospital, nor have we seen Hope or Thomas at the hospital. I haven't seen Katie there lately that I can think of. If Eric really were going to die, I feel like we would see more of the regular cast of characters there at his deathbed. Instead, we've got Bridget, Donna, Brooke, Ridge, Finn, and Steffy primarily. It's badly done if this is his curtain call. And the second reason Eric needs to survive is Ridge needs to pay for the horrible way he's treated the rest of the family. Over the past few weeks, Ridge Forrester's behavior to me has been appalling. Making the big sacrifice, here are my quote marks, sacrifice about saying he lost the fashion challenge and his dad won, but then going behind Eric's back and telling literally everyone in the building that he really won was despicable. That's not a sacrifice. That's a lie you're telling to one person while talking about them to everyone else behind their back. It's horrible. And of course, Eric played it cool once he found out at the party. He was like, oh, thank you. But then don't forget, he collapsed moments later. So maybe Ridge's loose talk about the fashion challenge is part of what suddenly destroyed Eric's will to live and led to his collapse. I totally can lay it at Ridge's footsteps. Like it just might have been what pushed him over the edge. And second, Ridge initially even refused to consider the experimental treatment. Yes, Eric didn't want to live hooked up to machines, but Eric didn't know there was an option before all this happened. And cures and treatments can take a few days, even a few weeks to work, but Ridge has waited, 1 day and is tapping his toe, ready to unplug his dad from the wall again. So how about, be a little patient because the treatment's already been done. Give Eric's body a chance. That's all Donna asked for. But now even Steffi told her granddad to go into the light. Sounds like she's channeling Ridge. And I think all these people need to chill out, have some patience, right? He's not in pain. Give it a day or two. All right, number 3, the third reason. Ridge will be running everything if Eric dies and will be totally insufferable. So another reason we can't have the Forrester patriarch expire is obvious when you picture a future without Eric. Right now, Ridge owns 20% of Forrester Creations. Thomas owns 5%. Eric and Steffi each own 37.5%. So unless Eric left Ridge all his shares, Ridge will still not be the majority shareholder. But I don't think that would stop him from running all over everyone and trying to make himself the big boss, maybe even the sole CEO. But in fact, Steffi's got the shares and the right to declare herself sole CEO, while Eric is incapacitated and his shares haven't been willed to anyone else. I'm interested to see the rest of Eric's will to find out who gets his shares. I truly hope he wouldn't give Ridge enough to be in the majority. Ridge right now is pushing away experienced and talented designers Thomas and Zende in favor of RJ, who has got a high school diploma and a lot of Instagram followers. Absolutely zero experience or education in the field. I mean, of course you expect favoritism in a family business, but what Ridge is doing is insane. The only reason Eric was working with RJ at all is because RJ was the one who noticed the hand tremors and volunteered to help with the sketching. It could have easily been Thomas or Zende who had noticed it. But let's be real. Head writer Brad Bell, showrunner Brad Bell, seems to have this bizarre fixation, fetish on anything related to Brooke. And since RJ popped out of her, of course, he's the golden child. The dialogue that they are writing about RJ and the words using to describe him is insanely just over the top. He's being portrayed as the new messiah of fashion. It is ridiculous. It is such bad writing. And now all we do is either see, Ridge repeating himself, Eric in a coma, or RJ and Luna every day. So if Eric dies, it'll be Ridge and Ridge Jr. at the top of the heap. You can bet Ridge will make sure of that, and everybody else knocked aside, and that would likely be something that frankly would destroy ratings and put our beloved soap at risk of cancellation. As it stands, this dragging, repetitive storyline has already seen ratings in a downward slide for months. This is like, I don't know, a playground slide covered in Crisco, and everything is headed south fast with ratings. They need to fix it and fix it fast. The fourth reason that Eric needs to stay alive is Donna needs to get her happy ending with her man. It would be so cruel for Eric to be taken away from her after she got back with the man of her dreams and they have this great relationship. Plus, Ridge has basically been shoving her aside, not letting her have a voice. And of everybody in the room, Donna is the one who knows what Eric wants right now. She's the last one to talk to him about what he wanted. Does anyone even know how long ago Eric signed that will that Carter talked about? I can't remember if it's new or if Carter just pulled it out of storage because Eric is so sick, but the bottom line is Eric didn't know that there might be a treatment. And at any rate, Donna has been at Eric's side pretty much 24/7, and he didn't even want Ridge to know that he's sick. That tells you who Eric trusts to have his back. And Ridge wasn't on that list. Donna was, RJ was, hell, even intern Luna was, but not Ridge. So I definitely think Donna's honey bear needs to survive just so she can shove this all back in Ridge's face later, because he's not been fair to her at all that I've seen. And Brooke keeps enabling Ridge and dissing her sister, par for the course. The fifth and final reason Eric can't die is because of the Finn, Liam, Steffy situation. Remember, Finn told Bridget his greatest fear is that he can't save Eric and will let down Steffy and the rest of the Forresters. Of course, it would let them down, and spoilers for this week say Steffy wonders if she made the wrong choice. By that, I think they mean she worries she should not have pressed Ridge to try Finn's experimental treatment. If Finn's miracle cure really does save Eric, though, he'll be golden. Totally redeemed for nearly letting Kelly Spencer drown, and surely no one will keep on dredging up the fact that his mom is Sheila Carter. Except, of course, for Liam Spencer. Liam's the wild card in all this. He's looking for a way back into Steffi's life, and if Eric dies, Steffi might be upset at Finn or blame him somehow and think the treatment made Eric suffer, and that would open just enough room in her heart to allow Liam to try and shove his way back in there. And while I do know there's a faction of fans who want to see Liam back with Steffi, there's also a mountain of viewers who hate the idea that Steffi would let Liam and his divided attention, divided heart, toxic, waffling ways back into her life. That's the biggest reason for me that Eric needs to survive this ordeal. I don't want to see Finn lose any more stature in Steffi's eyes over this incident when he's working very hard to save her granddad, while Liam is lurking, stalking, and waiting for a chance to mess up Steffi's happy marriage. All right, those are my 5 reasons Eric can't die. Click subscribe if you haven't and let me know what you think. Do you have another reason you think Eric shouldn't or won't die as part of this overly long storyline that's needlessly dragging us towards another Friday of will he or won't he die? Hopefully a Christmas miracle ends this and Eric will wake up. If not, are we still going to be seeing Eric in the hospital in February sweeps? Gosh, I hope not. Come back soon to talk B&B with me. I'm Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I'm here chatting bold with you all week long, 7 days a week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.